What's in that case? You might be heard to say, although I can't hear you, you're going to be watching this. It's a whole thing about time and space. It's later on. Anyway, what's in the case is what you might say to yourself, although I can't hear you. Hello. Right now, I thought I would, since I managed to get a night off, I don't want to brag. I want to share with you, although you can't taste it, my beverage for the evening, my adult beverage selection for tonight. And that is Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Ooh, and that's with the cream soda variant, as Dr. Fauci might say. Let me get a sip of this wonderful chemical juice. Let's put this up here. It's not great, but it ain't bad. Okay. Now what's in this case, you might be heard to say. In this case, is the orange typewriter, isn't it? The Orange Man typewriter, as my socialist-leaning friends might be heard to say. This is a Sears Chevron. Now, and again, it's been years since I've tracked this serial number down. Made in the maybe early 70s in Portugal by Smith Corona, using a German design. The Chevron. What kind of name is Chevron? Now these were sold by Sears here in the U.S. of A. And Chevron. What do we know Chevron for? Well, Chevron, I believe, is a color or a thing. I could have looked it up on the DuckDuckGo. They would say Google it, but I don't use Google anymore because I have my reasons. Although YouTube is a Google company, an Alphabet company, actually, what we know. Okay, Chevron makes petroleum products. Now, maybe it doesn't mean the same thing, but petroleum is used to make what? Plastics. And what is this? It's a lot of plastic. Now this Sears Chevron, this typewriter. Well, that's not plastic, is it? I don't know. Okay, this typewriter. I bought this typewriter. Well, a little story time, since I've got a minute or two. I got all the time I need. Hell, who am I fooling? I do this channel, not you. Obviously not to please anyone, and obviously not to make any money, because I don't. Not from this. I make all the money through my global extortion projects, which I probably shouldn't be discussing here. Is that all there? Good. It might be. Okay. Again, this typewriter. It was the year 2012. I decided to make a new life for myself. So I got rid of a lot of my possessions. And I moved off to Reno, Nevada. Don't say Nevada if you're in Nevada. They don't like it. I went to Reno, Nevada to start a new life at a questionable time in history. Because even though I had a lot of experience in my career path of choice, there were no jobs. And it was about 25% unemployment there at the time. Not wise and not smart not fun and not funny. No good, no bueno. But I was at a Goodwill store. And although my life was collapsing around me and I couldn't find a job to save my life, I did spend $15 on this beauty in the year of our Lord 2012. And I had a carry-on suitcase, and that was, it was awful heavy. And I got rid of like everything that I had with me, basically, so that I could put this in my carry-on, because I'm not gonna trust this to the baggage handlers. So it was just me, the suitcase, basically, with this typewriter inside of it. On a, what, 1,200 mile? I don't know how many hundreds of miles. It was a long trip back to Texas, East Texas, and I won't tell you where. All right, well, let's type the sentence, and I don't know, the ribbon should have some black on it. We'll see. It is very loud. Oh, typo. Now remember, I always type out because I like my sentences to be properly formed. The quick brown fox jumps over the slow lazy dog. I put in slow as a modifier and lazy, slow lazy, because you've got quick brown describing the fox. Well, you need that many modifiers for the dog also, damn it. It's got to be done that way. It's balance. It brings balance to the sentence. Okay, there's a typo there, but I believe I've got most of it, and it probably needs a new ribbon, but don't they all need new ribbons? That's all that I know. I mean, okay, this is a beautiful typewriter, although it's not a great typewriter, and it's very loud and clunky, and of course will remind most everyone in the viewing audience of Donald Trump. That wasn't the case when I bought it. Orange typewriter, good. That's what I'm saying. Let's let me see here. What do I got? These must be your paper thing there. That's where you keep your paper up. And you got your tabs, and a 1 key, which is odd. I mean, not for the 70s, because they started putting the 1 key with the exclamation, but a lot of your 60s typewriters, they ain't got that. The MR key, which is actually a marginal release, it doesn't type Mr. when you hit the button. I know some people that think that. They're wrong. See, I don't, yeah, there's tabs. I didn't set them. They might be in there. I don't know if you can get those out of there or not. The red tab key is something basically they got from Olivetti, because their tab keys were red. And it's a good type. I mean, yeah, it's a good typewriter. Pretty good. It's another typewriter, and I had it for a long time, and I don't use it. It's like the rest of my typewriters. I'm a hoarder. I don't want to say I'm a hoarder, but apparently that's the case. Hoarder is the case they gave me. Okay. And I was looking for a thing that said made in Portugal. I know they're made in Portugal because I just looked it up a few minutes back before I joined this broadcast. made in Portugal by a company, Mesa, and the what they were saying, it could be Matsushita, who made Brothers, or it could be an ABC design from Germany. At some point in the 70s, all typewriters became the same crap. Where it wasn't quite there yet, but by the late 70s, you had the same, and I've got examples of this. You got the same typewriter being sold as an Underwood, an Olivetti, a Royal, a Hermes. It was a mess because it was tough times for the typewriter business. If you're going to buy a typewriter, a used typewriter, get an older one. Get them from the 50s or the 60s because they're purely mechanical, and anything that's wrong with them, although there's a level of difficulty, anything that's wrong with them can be fixed. It may require a donor machine, but you don't know. And just a little word. There are new typewriters being made today. Brand new off-the-shelf typewriters. You can order them from Amazon and they'll show up brand new in a box eventually from China. They'll show up. And they'll probably cost you $200. And from all indications, and I don't own a new typewriter, not one of these, you don't want one of those because they're crap. I mean, not to say that they're going to fall apart the first time you use them. I'm saying, look, if they're $200, go to an antique store, go to a thrift store, go to eBay and get one for $100, and you'll be a lot happier. An older typewriter. And don't tell me you can't find them at thrift stores for $20, $30 because I've done it 80 times. Okay, so that's my theory. That's my story. And what I'm going to do, you see, I'm not doing this for the money, obviously. There's no money in this. The subscribers, the fame. No, none of that. I'm doing this basically to document the typewriters that I have. Because, frankly, a lot of this stuff is going into storage. And the more that videos that I get out there showing what I have, every time I do that, I can put another one in storage. This could take years. That's okay. Because I've got some other video projects coming up that I can't really talk about. Time for another drink. And that is the Sears Chevron, and I believe this is maybe a Chevron too. I don't know. It is a Chevron. I'm not going to make that call. And yet, this April 14th, 2021, faithfully submitted, your typewriter hoarding boy, signing out.